Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we are here at Brands Hatch. I had a request for a setup for the Huracan EVO2, and of course, just by chance, my league race coming up this coming weekend is here. So I got lots of practice to do because I got to really rebound from my catastrophe race from last weekend. So again, I was working on the Huracan EVO2. I did not have a setup for it. So let's jump behind the car. And really made some really good improvements, I thought, to the overall drivability of it. Of course, here, I'm coming up to just before the 1 right here. You can see this line up here too, but also this. So basically either one. I could be a little farther over, but I get a little nervous because this kind of tails in, and really I need to be over just a little bit farther. But you just gotta be careful because you don't want to get out here in the basically get sucked into the dirt. Again, try to closest to the curb you can. And of course, then I go down to the 1 here for this real tight turn. And this is really, I've never been the best at this turn, but you just got to keep working at it. And really, it's a combination of throttle and brake to try to go in kind of deep and use the brake to modulate it to kind of get the car to rotate quicker that way, because you really want to turn it and fire off the corner. Because a lot of people are really good through this corner. I mean, a lot of people would make up a lot of time on me in the past here. Yeah, I'm trail braking all the way through, getting back on the gas. And up here at this curb, basically right at the start of the curb on the brakes. Try to cut it in. You can see you still had the 3 things there. I haven't even knocked them off. I don't like to run on these curbs too hard, except, like that one is all right. And this one's real tough here. This is a corner it's really deceiving, and of course it's the only real long straightaway you have, and it's downhill. But basically, before this curbing, but right back here where this orange thing is, you can look at that or look at this one. Either way, but basically between that orange on the back there and this curbing. But you really, if you go too late, then you're too wide and you can't bring it back. And if you go too early, then it makes you run wide coming off. So it's really something you got to practice, and it's very, very narrow line to what's really fast. Try to bring it in and close to that curb, and then you come off. You got this grading here that you can run on if you need to, which is okay, but just bring it back because it gets real bumpy if you run it out here. And down here, back down to the 1 again. I usually like this turn. I usually really can, in the past, have been able to nail it really good and carry a lot of momentum through here, which is good because it then carries you through. If you can pull a few car links, it can kind of protect you for for somebody diving on you on the rest of the the 3rd sector at Brands Hatch. You bring it close to here. Right there, I hit off a little bit, that hurt. And of course, again at the 1 on the brakes, again right here. You can see a lot of times I'm almost trying to get my left side tires just right here. I mean, I'm a little wide here, but you have to almost run in the grass through here. You're just trying to late apex this and bring it in here because you're going to run out here on the other side. And you can see I'm on the grading here and just inbounds. So again, you got to be careful because you want to cut that really good so you don't run out here and get out of bounds or go in the dirt. Then of course I run out wide here to get an angle, and again I go off this orange marker over here down to 3rd. And again, you really you need to really get on this grading here with your right side tires if you can. I'm okay, but I could be a little bit more over. Again, because I don't know how many times, me including, how many times this is one of the traps here is running wide and you get in the grass and wreck or whatever. You got a little grating there, but you can see I barely touched it, so that hurt me. That hurt there too. And then, of course, you run down to that orange marker there. You can run it over these curbings is okay, but be careful, because if you run this over too far and get this one wheel in the grass, there's a good chance you're going to wreck. You're going to spin it around unless you really catch it fast. So again, just beware. I've seen that happen a lot of times. And basically, I'm on the brakes just before the end of this grass. So I'm actually past the one. At least in the car I am. So I'm pretty deep. Because I'm wanting to do this because I'm wanting to get an angle because it's going to go down to the right. So I don't want to brake too early, and then you're just not at the right angle coming down this hill. So again, I wait all the way to where the end of this grass. Now this is where I lost my time because I hit this curb too hard. Again, you want to run right up next to it. You don't want to do like I do here. You see I got on it. That just cost me a little time there. That's a 123.96. Again, I had a 123.7 in the Delta. I think I had a 123.7 in my Delta for 5 or 6 laps. I just can never. Every time just one corner, just all it takes to get slip in the grass, or you go off and hit a little bit, or just it's so technical here. It's very technical place, very connected dots. And that's why I really need to practice. So I really need to practice with the BMW because I got to, again, I got to do a lot better this next weekend. So hopefully I can get it together with that and see what I can do. But I'm really happy with the Lamborghini. I thought it was pretty good pace, in 23s. And like I said, it should be running almost every lap. I had a 23.7 in the Delta, which isn't bad for race pace, I didn't think, and 23-degree temperatures. So I thought that was all right. Let's go over to setup. Got 24.7 left front, 24.5 left rear, 26.2 right front, and 26 right rear. The toe on the front is a negative 0.25 with the camber at negative 3.6 and the caster at 13. And the toe on the rear is a positive 0.05 with the camber at negative 3. Again, all these are, you can move them around a little bit, but if you want the feel, but I didn't really, to be honest, I would almost want to try to go down even more, just because you got to turn with a Huracan. It seems like you got to turn the wheel a little more than I like to get it to react. It just doesn't want to react real quick. So I kind of, trying to get the car to speed up as far as the reaction, so you don't have to turn the car so early before a turn. I want it to be able to turn right when I want it to. So again, just trying to do some adjustments to get the drivability, the feel, and still be able to perform. But everything else was really good. If you want a little bit more rotation, you can increase the negative camber by 1, maybe in the back, 1 or 2, and that's more than enough. If you want just a teeny bit more rotation, really it's pretty neutral. Electronics, you got 3, 2, 3, and 2. Again, you might be able to do better with 5 on the map, just for the fact that you got engine braking, and there's a lot of corners here where you're kind of coasting, especially the first couple turns, and you could probably, so it might actually do better with a 5, and that long at the end of the straightaway where you turn right there also. So there's a lot of, it might do better with a lot more engine braking here. So again, I put it at 3 just because it's kind of a happy medium, but you might want to try a 5. Before you touch anything, just to see if it would improve upon it. It might. Also, I did try TC2 on a 1. You can also do that. And it wasn't too bad either, but I just wanted to be a little bit more consistent and not burn off the rear tires, so I just put it at a 2. But you can go down to 1. Again, that's an option. Fuel, 55 liters, number 1 brake pad. Tire wear was very good. Anti-roll bar 3, brake bias is 53, steering is all the way down. Springs are 190,000 with a bump stop rate of 800 and a bump stop range of 8. And on the rear, the springs are 164,000 with a bump stop rate of 1,000 and a bump stop range of 50. Anti-roll bar is 6 and the preload is 100. Again, everything here is pretty good. I got it down to 53. I don't know if you can go down really more than that. You might if you want to, but again, you might want to start at 54. That's just up to you, especially if you turn the electronics down. But it might get too oversteery. But again, that's just a neutral point, and you can adjust it from there. Everything else is really good. I thought it handles the bumps pretty good. Shocks on the front, we got 9, 12, 16, and 24. And on the rear, we got 8, 10, 10, and 15. Again, all dialed in by Motec, and of course with a little bit of tweaking after that. Aero got 55 in the front, 63 in the rear with a 10 wing, a 4, and a 4 in the brake ducts. And the front aero variation is a 0.8 to the positive. Now here, I was really hesitant between the two. Again, I left it on 10 just to be better for the rear tires, but you can go down to 9 if you want to. So again, it's kind of I'm kind of like in between. You can either go either or. Again, if you want a little bit, just a little bit more rotation, you might want to go down to a 9 or try that for like a qualifying. I don't think it's going to make that much difference. And with me being aggressive and a lot of rear brake, I just decided to go with just stick with the 10. Again, this is a race setup, so that's the way I went that way. That's the reason behind it. But other than that, I think it's a really solid setup, and I think it's very consistent. Again, I was hitting those times, really low 24s, high 23s all the time, and again with could do a lot better. Just the guy behind the wheel. Again, the car had it in it. It's just nailing those each little section, and it just takes more practice. And that's what you really need to do here to be consistent, because this is so technical in places that any little thing, you hit the bump too hard, or you take that cut that one corner too much, or any little thing, and you could lose a couple tenths easy. So it's a very, very technical track, Brands Hatch. I've done so many races here, I've lost count, especially when I used to race a lot in a CP server. Again, I've had some good races and some bad, but it's definitely challenging place. And again, something that you really, when you do good, or you nail a really good lap, it's really a good accomplishment, just because this place is definitely not easy. So again, I hope you do good. I hope you run your personal best. And again, this setup is free, and it will be in the description. A link, for it will be in the description, and of course it will also be in my Discord, and the link to my Discord will be in the description also. And again, I want to say special thanks to Mark and Larry for their support, and again, all y'all's support for liking and subscribing, and I sure hope you come back and visit again. Y'all take care. See ya.